Dina had been engaged in an animated phone conversation for hours. Meanwhile, her husband, Vitaly, lounged in an armchair, idly flipping through TV channels, observing her lively movements around the apartment. She was immersed in discussions with her former classmates, sorting out the details for their upcoming reunion next week, marking the anniversary of their graduation. As she concluded her lengthy calls, Dina collapsed onto the couch with a satisfied sigh, announcing, "Well, it looks like we've sorted everything out. The restaurant is booked, so now we can relax." Drawing nearer, Vitaly embraced her, teasing, "Are you all so eager to catch up that you still meet with your old classmates? I haven't seen mine since we graduated." Chuckling, she responded, her eyes gleaming, "You know, we were always a tight-knit group." With a hint of seriousness, Vitaly reminded her, "Just remember not to overindulge in alcohol, all right?" Rolling her eyes playfully, Dina replied, "Oh, come on." Their bond spanned nearly 8 years, originating from their college days where they met and became inseparable. Initially, they indulged in frequent travels and spontaneous adventures, fueled by the energy of youth and the constraints of student budgets. Whether it was seaside escapades with friends, hitchhiking journeys, or camping under the stars, they crafted memories filled with laughter and excitement. However, as time progressed, they opted for a more settled lifestyle. Vitaly pursued a stable career path, driven by a commitment to provide for their future, while Dina, not yet ready for parenthood, prioritized personal fulfillment. Finding fulfillment in her career, they savored dinners together, ushering in a phase akin to a second youth, where the allure of adventure and social gatherings once again beckoned. Every weekend, Dina persuaded her husband to go out for a night out, but Vitaly had already outgrown the club life and preferred a quieter pastime. Respecting his wishes, Dina went with her friends to the club, and Vitaly stayed at home, trusting her and asking only to keep him informed and not to stay out late. If he couldn't accompany her, he made sure she could get home safely, often hailing a cab. That Saturday, Dina went to celebrate a friend's birthday at a water park, leaving Vitaly to entertain his sister Vera, who worked as a bartender at night. They drank tea and chatted in the kitchen, Vera telling him funny stories from the bar. However, Vitaly's mood was not good, and he decided to voice his concerns about Dina's frequent outings with her friends and their limited time together. He confided in Vera, wondering if Dina was deliberately avoiding socializing with him. Vera listened to him, offering an outsider's perspective. She acknowledged Vitaly's concerns and said that while it might seem irrational, all possibilities needed to be considered. Turning the question to him, she asked how he would act if the roles were reversed. After pondering her question, Vitaly admitted to uncertainty, realizing the complexity of the situation. He suggested that he would probably choose open communication, or in dire circumstances, decide to break up. "I can't claim to understand Dina. She's always been a mystery to me," Vera admitted, recalling their past quarrel over a trifling matter. Remembering the incident at the family holiday, when Vera could not withstand the irritated remark of Vitaly's wife, she told how their relationship deteriorated. Despite Vera's attempts to mend relations, Dina remained aloof, greeting her with an icy expression. "Don't worry so much. Things will definitely get better," Vera reassured her. "Why not give yourself a day off? Remember the lakes we used to go to when we were kids? Take her there." "You're right about something," Vitaly agreed. "She has a reunion next Friday, so I'll surprise her by going on Saturday." "Sounds like fun. I'll book a lakeside room tonight." After she's had her fill of talking at the reunion, she'll appreciate the tranquility of nature. Vitaly had no idea that his planned surprise was about to take an unexpected turn. Friday evening came, and Dina hurried home after work to change clothes and go to the restaurant at 8 o'clock. She was filled with anticipation. Soon she would meet old friends, want to learn about their lives, and remember her carefree school days. Lately, Dina had been feeling a wave of nostalgia for the past. By coincidence, Vitaly's sister Vera was working the evening shift at the bar that Friday. When she came to work, she was surprised to find Dima, the same classmate that Dina had decided to meet. Remembering her brother's fears, Vera made a note to keep an eye on his wife throughout the evening. Standing behind the bar, Vera discreetly observed the crowd. Most of the interaction was with the waiters, which allowed her to remain unnoticed by Dina. While the school friends laughed, drank, and chatted, Vera skillfully prepared cocktails, discreetly observing what was happening. Eventually, a man approached the bar and took a seat, his demeanor indicating a desire to engage in deep conversation. Sensing his approaching proximity, Faith became wary. Addressing her by name, the man, clearly intoxicated, broached a vague subject, seeking advice on how to revive a long-dead love. Vera, accustomed to such philosophical musings by her occupation, replied with sympathy and wisdom. True love is timeless. Its essence remains imprinted in the heart indefinitely, she suggested, filling his glass. Encouraged by her answer, the man continued the conversation, hoping for a chance to revive the past. Faith, drawing wisdom from the internet, delivered her verdict in a consoling tone. Seize the opportunity. Love knows no timetable. In these fleeting moments, Vera found solace in relaying age-old sayings to her patrons, offering advice clothed in poetic prose. Vera's words were usually enough to provoke reflection in her clients, and the man in front of her was no exception. With a newfound sparkle in his eyes, he asked for a cocktail, expressed his gratitude, paid the bill, and strode purposefully toward his classmates seated at a separate table. Brimming with confidence, he approached Dina, handed her a freshly prepared drink, and began flirting. Soon he drew her to the dance floor, where they embraced with undisguised fervor. Vera watched the scene unfold with horror, realizing that the situation went beyond innocent flirting. Fearing for the safety of her brother's wife, she took prompt action, discreetly recording what was happening on her phone. Despite the obvious malleability of Dina, Vera felt an underlying discomfort. With a heavy heart, she sent the incriminating footage to her brother, alerting him to the unfolding events. 20 tense minutes passed before Vitaly burst into the establishment and strode with determined steps toward the stage where the couple had disappeared. In time, he found that the couple had disappeared from sight. Without giving up hope, he approached Dina's tipsy classmates and inquired about her whereabouts. Amidst raucous laughter and light-hearted toasts, a few gestures pointed to the restroom. Without thinking, Vitaly stepped inside, and a few moments later a startled scream pierced the air, followed by a commotion. The consequences of this chaotic incident left an indelible mark on all the participants when one of Dina's classmates stumbled out into the street, followed by Vitaly, who clung tightly to his wife's collar. The absurdity of the scene did not match the seriousness of the situation. While the spectacle may have seemed surreal to onlookers, the emotional turmoil unfolding all around was all too real. Security guards tried to restrain Vitaly, who was seething with rage towards his wife's amorous stalker, while Dina stood nearby, tears streaming down her face. The reunion had turned into a nightmare, but the real victim was her marriage. Because of this unpleasantness, all thoughts of a weekend trip were quickly discarded. Instead, Vitaly took decisive measures. He collected Dina's things and without hesitation put her out the door. Later it turned out that in the past, Dina had a relationship with a classmate, and the attempt to resume the relationship destroyed Vitaly's trust and ruined their marriage. For him, there was no room for ambiguity or forgiveness in the face of betrayal. Determined to end the relationship, he initiated divorce proceedings and began to build his life anew. Grateful to his sister for her vigilance, he found solace in her unwavering support during the tumultuous events. Meanwhile, Dina, anticipating an irreparable break with her husband, took the opportunity to resume her romance with a classmate. However, the gravity of the situation sobered him, forcing him to reassess his priorities. He realized the need to prioritize his family and refused to act impulsively. Not realizing the unfolding drama, Dina did not pay attention to the consequences of her actions, But the consequences of that fateful evening remained, casting a long shadow on her future. The evening ended alone for Dina. A weak excuse from a classmate left her abandoned and alone facing the consequences. The scandal tarnished her reputation and made her avoid future encounters with her classmates. Although she tried to maintain her social life by attending clubs and seeking out friends, meaningful connections eluded her. Her subsequent marriage to a man with a passion for the nightlife reflected her own preferences, but as time went on, Dina's behavior became increasingly disturbing. Haunted by the specter of betrayal, Dina became vigilant about her husband's actions, and this behavior was likely spawned by her own painful experiences. Recognizing the fragility of the marriage, she sought to preempt any threats to her relationship, albeit with a nervousness that betrayed her insecurity. Through her ordeal, Dina realized the delicate balance needed to keep the marriage intact, even if it meant dealing with her own anxieties and tendency to control.